stay tuned because for the next 60 minutes, Motorsports Unlimited is on the air. Hi, I'm Jerry Bryant, and these are the lovely ladies of motorsports. And all this hour, we're going to have 60 minutes of action-packed excitement. All kinds of exciting things will happen. And we got the famous Bill Wildt, and we got all kinds of other good stuff that's happening all this hour. Motorsports Unlimited. 60 minutes of non-stop action. So let's go to the studio right now, huh?
Thanks, Jerry. Hi, everybody. I'm Carl King, here to welcome you to the 291st edition of Chicagoland's hottest TV series, Motorsports Unlimited. Now, we've told you many times that this is the birthplace of American auto racing. We even did a show detailing America's first auto race held on Thanksgiving Day, 1895. It began and ended in the shadows of what is now the Museum of Science and Industry. The question is, what is the legacy of that event? What is the closest racetrack to the origin of America's fascination with auto racing? Well, we're going back there today. We're taking you along on our second visit to Raceway Park in Blue Island, Illinois. Not only is it the oldest pure motorsport facility in the Chicago area, it's also the closest to America's auto racing roots.
What do you think? You guys have just done a complete lap of Raceway Park.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I imagine you're tired. Allison, you'll remember from last time that Raceway Park is the oldest pure motorsport facility in the Chicago area. Do you know that? You remember?
Sure do. Wasn't it open like 1938?
That's exactly correct. 1938. And Chris, you remember we had Wayne Adams Sr. here and Pete Jennen, the owner?
I remember it, and now I can tell people that I've done a lap at Raceway Park.
You've done a lap at... Now, let me get down here. If you've done a lap at Raceway Park, what time did you turn?
Oh, about, with me, an hour.
Now, Kimmy, you've been sick for the last couple of shows that we've done. How are we doing today?
We're fine, but dressed like this, I'm going to get pneumonia again.
Okay, and you guys are saying that you probably need coats, right?
I think it would be a good idea.
We have got the most incredible coat delivering machines. Am I right? Coat delivering machines. Awesome coat delivering machines. Guys, if we can we bring the coats in over here now?
I can hear them coming.
You always kind of like that noise, right?
Love
now,
it.
mind you, now let's step down here a little bit. Step down this way. Let's give them some room. Now, why don't you go ahead and get your coats? Girls, go ahead and get your coats, and I'll explain to the audience a little bit. There's two more down there. Now, what do you think? Is that great service for getting
what
coats?
Service?
One thing I do want to tell our audience, that I couldn't, when we came down to Raceway Park, the last time we came down to do this, it's the first time we've been down here, and I was so taken by the way everyone extended themselves to help us do a nice program. I said, we've got to go back there again. These are terrific folks down here. And as a matter of fact, what we're going to be doing here today is a couple of things. These two fellows behind us, and in fact, let's make sure we can see these guys. So you guys step there. Let me step down here a little bit. We've got the 04 car and a 58 car, and our regular viewers will remember that these guys were involved in one heck of a crash, and we figure by now, how many weeks has it been, Chris, since we've been down here? Must be about 8 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
About 8 weeks or so. So I figure the tempers are all cooled down by now. And these are the two guys that were involved. And we've got great footage of the whole race because we've got Chuck Hitzenthaler, who's as good as any...
Thanks to Chuck, we have an excellent...
You bet. This Chuck Hitzenthaler is as good as any network cameraman. And even Jan Gabriel says that this guy is really terrific. So we've got all that footage. And we're going to talk to these guys. First of all, let me get their names. You are?
Dave Rickert.
Dave, you know you're going to be famous after this, right?
Yes, I hope so.
Maybe not what you wanted to be famous for.
Exactly.
Okay, but there's no hard feelings anymore?
No, we've kind of ironed out everything now.
Okay, great. Let me introduce the other fellow, too. Girls, watch the audio cable there. And you are?
Jeff McNeil.
Jeff McNeil. Jeff, no hard feelings now? Everything is calmed down?
No, there's no hard feelings between us at all.
Okay, as a matter of fact, what we're going to do is we're going to show the audience this footage, and you guys are going to comment over it and explain exactly what was going on. We've got to move a few things around right now. Allison, tell the audience.
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
The race in which the crash occurred between Jeff McNeil and Dave Rickert happened nearly 3 months ago. I hope Bill doesn't stir things up. Now, before we go any further, let's meet the girls on today's show.
Hi, I'm Kim Donahue.
I'm Alison Demore.
I'm Joe DeMarco.
And I'm Chris Schutz.
Thank you, girls. Now, hopefully, Bill isn't going to reopen old wounds, but we've got some terrific race footage we want to show you and really want you to see just how hard the guys at Raceway Park compete for the championship.
All right, we have the combatants here, and I mean combatants, I guess, in the most positive way, and I want you to, if we want a proper introduction, I want you to reintroduce yourself to our audience, please.
My name is Jeff McNeil,
And where are you from, Jeff?
Glenwood, Illinois.
How long have you been racing late models?
This is my rookie season.
But you must have raced something else before. Nobody steps into one of these weapons, I hope, without some experience. What else did you do?
We ran 2 years of hobby stock and 1 year of sportsman.
Do you think that's about the right way to get through the ranks?
Basically, yeah, you should get an idea of what you're doing before you come out here and spend this much money.
Yeah, I agree. It's not only spend this much money, this has got to be a handful.
It's not too bad. It's actually, the cars are a little bit, you have to drive them different, but you got more safety equipment built into these cars than you do in the lower cars.
Well, wait just a minute. Allison, you drove one of these. You thought it was a handful.
I loved it, but I started just up at the top. I didn't start down there.
Oh, well, that's true, but you went very slow, too. I know you didn't think you were. But, so in any event, so we're talking about, I wasn't counting, 4 or 5 years experience?
Right. 5 full seasons. I've been racing off and on since 1979.
Okay, now don't go away because we want to introduce the other combatant once again in the most positive of ways, and this is going to be fun, I hope. There's been enough time elapsed here, so we don't have any angry folks anymore, I hope, and you are?
Dave Rickert.
From?
Dalton.
And Dave, how long have you been doing late models?
2 years in late model.
2 years in late models, and how about other kinds of racing?
I'm a sportsman year and a hobby stock year.
Just one of each?
One of each.
So you're pretty new at this then, too?
Exactly.
Okay, we talked to you guys a little bit earlier. One of the reasons that we've come back here to Raceway Park, folks, is that we just got some absolutely sensational footage. And I want to, again, I don't want to be redundant about this, but thanks again to Chuck Hitzenthaler. He's really something special. But we just got some great footage of this, and it might be one of the best crash shots we've ever gotten. And these were the two people that were involved. It was spectacular. You guys didn't exactly walk away from it scot-free. First of all, it was a costly accident, wasn't it?
Extremely.
And secondly, you got hurt.
Yeah, I bashed my knee in a steering column pretty good.
Yeah, and carried that around for a while.
A couple of weeks.
Okay, now don't run away. Let me get back over here. You also did not exactly walk away from this thing scot-free. It was pretty expensive for you too?
Yeah, it was pretty expensive.
And you got hurt?
Yes, I broke a bone in my left hand.
So you ended up with a broken hand out of this?
Right.
Okay. Did you guys ever decide who was at fault?
Basically, I think it's just tight racing. I think it was a combination of all elements.
Okay, we're going to take a look at this thing, folks, to see if we can call this tight racing. Dave? Tight racing?
Extremely tight.
Okay, nobody really at fault?
It's a combination, but no, it was a good, clean racing accident.
Okay, I'm not going to stir anything up. The thing I want the folks to know is that you guys were literally kind of beating on each other the whole race.
Right.
So, and does this normally happen? I am not that familiar with what goes on at Raceway Park, and I know you have some real tight racing, but do you two guys somehow usually end up in the same races and go this hard at each other?
Usually, we're called dancing partners. We swap paint here and there, but it's tight here, so we rub.
Okay, you know what we're doing here. We've got this thing set up. We've got our tape that we took, and we've got a monitor up here, and we want you guys to call this thing. So if we could get you guys to step right on over here, please step right over here. And I'm going to start the tape, and what I want you guys to do is kind of give me an idea of what's going on. All right?
A play-by-play.
Play-by-play? Okay.
Play-by-play. Please go ahead and feel free to comment as you see fit. What do we got here? Start of the race?
Start of the race.
Over moved up, and I broke through traffic, and basically we were just going right there, and as you see coming up next lap, it's pretty much me and Dave out in front of everybody else.
Well, that was a great move to the inside, and again, I'm talking about the 58 car. That was a great move to the inside.
Yeah, he kind of gave me the line and let us by.
Okay, now here comes Dave. That's you, 04.
Right, we're closing in on him, and we're going to set him up for a pass there, at least try to.
This is, once again, I want to repeat to it, Raceway Park. This is extremely difficult. This is a very tight racetrack to park at. Now, what are you thinking right now, Dave?
I'm looking for a spot to get a nose underneath him. I see he's got a little push come out, so I think I can get a nose underneath.
So you're going to try to put a nose underneath him, and I guess at Raceway Park, you have to go underneath to get by.
Exactly.
What are you going to do to keep him from going underneath?
Just try to keep the car tight down on the corner. You definitely can't try to pass anybody on the outside here, so if I protect...
Okay, now, what happened there? And I want to stop the tape right there. Okay, guys, you saw what just happened. What happened?
All right, I had to move. I made a move on the inside coming out of 2, and as we touched, the guy behind me, Tom Smith, ran in the back of me and upset my car.
That was the 27 car.
Exactly.
But now, I don't want to stir anything up, but I got to say, when I looked at this, it looked like he nailed you before he got booted.
Right. He did, but you know, they pretty much, you got to cross people up pretty bad here, and he was crossing me up, and then I probably would have let him have the line coming into 3, but when I came into 3, as you'll see, he wasn't there, so I figured he was out of the picture again.
So you were actually going to give way a bit?
Sure.
Really? Okay. Well, I want to back this up just a little bit because I want to see that again when that's the first initial, what I would call hard contact. Let's see if we can get this right. Hold, Allison, step right on over here. You have a question?
I was just going to say we have another one involved. Where's he? The 27.
No, he does. This gets really involved. Now, did I back it up enough here? Let's see if. Yes, I did. Okay, this is going to be that initial boot again, right?
Right about in the middle of the turn, I touched him as I tried to get on the inside, and I had the line, but Smitty ran in the back of me and upset my car.
Upset your car. Now again, it looks like you're back in the driver's seat. 58 car back out in front.
Right. I didn't feel him hammer on me going into 3, so I figured, you know, he was just out of the picture, and I don't usually watch in my rearview mirror.
You're not all that interested in giving him that much room, are you?
No, we try to race tight here. We really do. Everybody.
Okay, Dave, it looks like you're coming back again.
I'm closing back in again. There's the same move underneath, but just not enough to get around him.
It looks to me like you're banging.
No, we're clean. We're real clean there.
You agreed, Dave? He's not touching you? I'm sorry.
There's no touch in there.
Okay, because it really was awfully tight. Once again, Dave, what are you trying to do?
Well, I'm still looking for that inside move again. Trying to get a nose in on the inside to get him out coming out of the corners.
The whole thing is keeping us close in this race is he's getting in the corner better than I am, but I'm coming off the corner better than he is. That's why neither one of us are really walking away with the show.
Okay, it looks like you really got him there, Dave. Right. And now what happened?
Well, I just ran out of racing room. It looked like I come out of 4 and started to hit the line on him. And, obviously, we just ran out of room.
Okay, let me do this one more time. I don't want to rub it in much. I don't want to rub it in much, but this was a very hard hit and actually really caught us by surprise. And once again, if it's not being overly redundant, I do want to mention the fine camera work of Chuck Hitzenthaler. I've had people look at this from the networks, and these guys think this was every bit as good as anybody on network did. Once again, you're closing in on him, and you're actually right. You're getting down the straightaway better than he is.
Right. I'm coming off the corner better than he is, but he's getting in a little bit deeper than I am.
Okay, what happens here now? I want you to tell me, because there are people that are arguing both ways. Some guys say he's trying to run you into the rumble strips, and other people are saying you had enough and you're taking him into the wall.
Well, it depends how you look at it, but
you're the guys that saw it.
Well, I thought I had the room. Honestly, I thought I had plenty of room, to set up for the next corner. So.
Okay. I don't want to beat it to death. We've had an opportunity now to take a look at this thing. The one thing I do want our audience to see, there's no question, this was expensive and the guys were injured, so this really wasn't just a minor incident that occurred. But these guys apparently ended up friends still.
Sure. Oh yeah, we ironed out all the problems and.
Okay, and they were also telling me something when we set this up and we wanted to do this. They also told me something else interesting. You guys both feel that if you both had a couple of more years of late model experience, this wouldn't have happened?
Exactly right. The one thing I found the most different with a late model car is the tires are big. They tend to stick out of the cars. You barely get together, and it jerks the car all over the place. And with the lower car divisions, you don't have the big tires, and you can body slam, and you don't have the problems that you do in these cars. You really, especially in a small place like this, you have to have real quick reflexes. And we were racing so close, the best of reflexes, I think the accident would have happened, but guys with more experience would not have allowed themselves to get to that point.
Okay, you pretty much concur?
Well, plus the white flag came out, so we were both racing for that win right there, and we don't both have that many wins, so we're going for it.
Yeah, and I guess as we were talking earlier, you kind of maybe would have realized with a couple more years' experience, this isn't going to get both of us anything,
Right.
including a win.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
For a heat race. For a heat race. That.
I have a question.
Yes, Allison.
When you get into a accident like that and you're so used to racing so close together, does it make you a little more nervous every time you're trying to do that move again?
No, it's probably just the opposite. Because then you get a feel of how close the cars really are, and you know kind of what he's going to do now. This year racing when I'm so side by side so much, I almost have a feeling of what he's going to do and how much I can rub and how much he can rub me before I'll move, before he'll move.
Right, we've had a lot of close racing after that accident where he's moved me out of the way and we've raced side by side and I've moved him out of the way side by side, but we've gotten to learn each other, and every lap you take on the track you're getting more experience.
Well, it's the truth, and while it is part of motorsport, you're exactly correct. Nobody wants it to happen, and we try to avoid it as best we can. And I think you're right. Once the guys know each other a little bit better, you know to avoid that. It's like, I don't suppose you want to put that kind of a move on Dale Earnhardt, would you?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
you have to kind of learn those things. Anyhow, guys, I know you have to get ready for tonight's ad. We should say to our audience that this is the championship evening for the late models at Raceway Park.
That's right.
Okay, guys, again, I want to thank you for spending the time with us, and thanks a lot for bringing your cars up. By the way, Chuck, if you can, I'd like you to do a nice sweeping move here. Take a look at the guys' two cars. They have just some excellent pieces of equipment. Guys, anybody you want to thank?
I'd like to thank the Art Corner and Hollowfield Racing. They both helped me out a little bit, and Dave Dotter. He's my chassis man.
Okay, great. And?
Sure, Power Source, Ray Jager for building the motor, Stosh Coleman, the guys at the shop.
Stosh Coleman, I've been to a shop, sure.
Wayne Coleman, Stashy Coleman, Mike White and Frank Dante, and of course my dad. My dad always comes out and helps me every night. And the fans, for coming out and yelling and stuff, so we appreciate all the help.
You're right, fans most important to the whole group.
Yeah, fans are, that's what keeps the track going.
That's what keeps us performing. Guys, thank you so much. I'm glad that there was no further great injuries to this thing. I'm glad we had an opportunity to talk to you guys. Girls,
And
to get women.
I'd also like to say good luck tonight.
And good luck tonight. Girls, tell the camera.
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Jeff and Dave are real gentlemen and a credit to motorsports. It's nice to see that despite furious competition that can occasionally have disastrous results, competitors can still put the incidents aside and be friends. Now, speaking of gentlemen, let's meet the man that made Alison's dreams come true.
Well, Alison, we are standing.
Just looking at it, I got that feeling again.
Now, wait a minute. We've got to explain to the audience what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
We were here last time. Mike was nice enough to let me drive his street stock, and it was awesome.
Okay, real quickly, let me recapture this moment for our audience. The last time at Raceway Park, we did a thing with a lot of the competitors down here, and I wanted an example of each of the different divisions, and Mike Carpenter brought his number 83 car, one of the top cars in the street stock division. When we got done doing the interview with Mike said to me, Bill, if you want to take the car for a few hot laps, go right ahead. And of course, I've driven race cars before, and I've driven at this track before and everything, and while I certainly appreciated the offer, it wasn't something in my mind that would be necessarily good for television. But I remember you mentioning once that you'd love to try something, so I asked him, can we use your car to have Alison take a few laps of the track? And, well, let's step over here. Come on over here. Let's step over here. First of all, once again, Mike Carpenter, welcome to Motorsports Unlimited.
Hi, thanks. Nice to be here.
Okay, you remember the last time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it almost cost you your race car. You're just now really aware of that. Now, Alison, come on over here.
Well,
Step
not
right here.
that bad.
No, wait. Now, Alison, I came to the motorhome and I said to you, one of the guys out there, the guy that we interviewed with the street stock car, said that you could take his car for a few laps, and you just about flipped out.
Oh my, it was awesome. Yeah, no, I've something I've always wanted to do. And I told you when I started this show, at one point I want to at least try all the cars that we kind of do. I think it's just kind of neat, and you don't understand what it's like to drive these until you're actually behind the wheel.
Okay, that's my point. The problem we in the motorsport community have as far as helping the general public understand our sport and understand our enthusiasm is the general public in all likelihood will never have an opportunity to drive something like this. They have no idea what everybody, for example, in baseball, everybody has gone out to a little league field and swung a bat, and they know what it's like to hit a ball and all that, and they also know what it's like after they've tried a long time and they've hit the ball 100 yards or something to see somebody walk up and smack smack at 300 yards. Everybody knows, wow, that's impressive. But we don't have any frame of references. Kind of, what are these guys? How talented are these guys
And
out
the other
here?
thing is, most of the time, like when I talk to gentlemen in bars or when I'm out at social events and stuff, they all say to me, "Oh, I'd love to try to drive one of them." I mean, it is something that isn't really attainable for a lot of
No,
people.
it's not attainable. And so my question is, how can we communicate with the audience to tell them how exciting this is?
Stick me in a car and just tape my
Well,
face.
That's the point. If you have a guy do it, we have a natural ego problem. If you have a guy do it,
it's cool.
yeah, exactly. If I got out of it because I'm not gonna be overly impressed. I'm gonna say, yeah,
Cool.
not bad. Not bad. That doesn't communicate anything. But the girls, I'm telling you, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. First of all, Mike, when you offered me to drive, did you know that Alison was going to end up in the car?
No, it was kind of a surprise for me, but I don't know. I wouldn't say that you caught me off guard on it, but I had really no objections to it.
Okay, once again, we've got the monitor set up here, and Mike, if you would that's good. Now I want you to turn right around here so you can see the monitor. And Allison, you come around here too. And girls, if you want, come up over here, please, because I'd like you guys to. I want you. What's that, Allison?
I want them to come up and watch my masterful driving.
Okay. Wait, just a minute. What was that, Joe?
I said I want to watch Alison because I'm next.
Okay, she's next. Now, okay, we're just getting ready here, and Allison is just pulling away. Mike, what are you thinking?
Oh no, it's right. What did I do?
And Allison, what's in your mind now?
Oh, I just trying to get the feel of the acceleration because they are really powerful. It was awesome. Oh yeah, my heart was beating 250 beats a second.
I'll tell you what I was impressed about. And Joe, you say you want to drive a race car too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I want you to look at Allison's face as she comes around. We had a couple of real tight shots of her face. Allison, you were grinning from ear to ear.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe I was in it. It was really neat.
Kimmy, you said you didn't want to do it.
Not that day. I just wasn't feeling right, but I would.
You would do it?
I would, as long as I can't drive stick shift, though.
And we're going to solve that, by the way, Kimmy.
I know you will, but if the car is automatic, I'd do it.
How about tonight?
And Christine, you can't drive anything automatic or stick.
No.
She already.
So you're sort of out of it on this stuff.
Yes.
But Bill, she already did her lap around Raceway Park.
That's right,
On
earlier
foot.
today.
On foot.
Yes. In heels.
Mike is making fun of my grin.
No, is she enjoying this or what?
Absolutely. We were sitting both by the ambulance entrance there and watching her, and it was ear to ear. We were just having a good time watching and enjoying it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, now that we've seen it, we've seen your antics, Allison, we've seen you coming around, and by the way, your grin gets bigger and bigger every time around
Because
the
every
racetrack.
time I was getting a little more daring with the acceleration.
Yeah,
She was putting her foot into it a little bit each and every lap. She's picking it up like you're supposed to.
I'll tell you what, that impressed me. She actually did get out of it. I was impressed with that. Okay,
I was
now,
getting scared, but I was impressed.
no, I was impressed.
That's why I was standing by the ambulance driver.
But look at that smile. I mean, you are really, really enjoying this. And actually, I think going pretty fast. I think she did very, very well. She was riding in the proper line of the racetrack. She wasn't hugging around the inside or the outside wall. She was where the car should be.
I'll tell you what, if she'd have gone out, she would have been probably in the medium heat that night, so right around mid-pack, I would say, for driving like that.
You really think so? Okay, well, listen, just great. Now, let me shut this thing off. Allison, I can tell you, this is something Mike doesn't know. When I took you back to the motor home after you did this,
Glowing.
you talk about somebody, she was wired. You were absolutely climbing the
The
wall.
thing is, I'm so wired. Normally, I was almost shooting out of that poor motorhome. I couldn't quit talking about it.
She
It was
thanked
awesome.
me 15 times for saying, this is one of the most exciting times of my life. I can't believe how cool that is. I can't believe now I know why you guys love this sport so much. And she's going on and on and on and all that kind of good stuff. What do you think I did, Mike?
I think you, what did they say when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor? Waken the sleeping giant?
Well, not just waking a sleeping giant. I said I went and walked through the pits then because we were lining up another interview. I'm walking through the pits, and who was it? Help me. I can never say his last name.
John Brolik.
Am I saying Brolik? Is that?
Yeah.
I'm pronouncing it correctly? Okay. And John says to me, hey, Bill. Now, he's got one of the top late model cars out here. And he says, hey, Bill, if you want to take my cars for a few hot laps, he says, feel free. And once again, the thing clicks because she's back in the motorhome telling the other. What?
Hey, Alison said, I'll do it.
No. She's in the motorhome at this point. She's back in the motorhome, and I'm all the way across the track, and I'm thinking of her. She is so wired and so excited. So I said to John, John, I'll tell you what, it doesn't really make any difference if I drive it or not. I've driven cars before. I appreciate the offer. However, one of our girls is flying. He says, sure, I don't care. She can't hurt it any more than I hurt it. So bring her over. Allison, what did I do then?
Oh, when you came into the motorhome and told me that I was going to get to go on the limited late model, I was scared. I was
Not the limited late model. We're talking
late
late
model. I'm sorry. I was shaking. Maybe I should wait.
Okay, we're going to hold this story because we want to get John out here now. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if he's not in his car right now. We are going to take and change these cars around. Mike, I want to thank you for bringing this car up. Now, you're not even racing here tonight, are you?
Yeah, we'll be running tonight.
Oh, you are going to run tonight. Okay, so you didn't have to come out special for us.
No.
Okay, well, I sure thank you for this.
I would have anyway.
And how'd you end up in the points, by the way?
Second.
You ended up second in the points?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Somebody want to say that?
I did. I want to give Mike a thank you card from me. Thanks
you.
so much.
Okay.
You've helped fulfill one of my dreams.
Good.
Okay, and again, we certainly want to thank you. And again, I want to say about the competitors here at Raceway Park, when we came down here last time, I couldn't have been more gratified. These guys, all of them, we're focusing on a couple that, that we had close things, but every single person here, this is a group to be proud of. I was real pleased, and we wanted to come back here again this year. We appreciate it. Joe, why don't you tell the camera?
Don't go away, we'll be right back. Mike Carpenter was only one of the men that made Alison's dreams come true. You've already heard a little of the next part of the story. Now we want you to meet the second player in Alison's stock car career, John Brolick.
Alison, come here. Come here, Alison. I want you to take a look at this. I want you to take a look inside of this particular car. Look inside. Duck in. Do you remember anything?
Not a thing. They had arms buckling me in, helmets being thrown on my head.
Wait just a minute here. Before we go any farther, I want to get down over here because this is all new to Joe. Joe, you said we were walking over here. What a beautiful car.
I said, I want to drive that car.
Another one wants to drive this car. Tell her what it was like.
Oh my gosh, it was awesome. Now this is my true love, this car right here.
Well, you have to, and I wanted to build to this, but first let's get down here and reintroduce John Brolick, and I hope I'm saying that name wrong. For some reason, I've got a mental block. Please reintroduce yourself to our audience.
John Brolick, you're correct.
Brolick is correct.
Yes,
why is it spelled? No, I guess it's spelled Brolick. I don't know why I don't say it right. John, you were nice enough to let Alison drive your car the last time we were down here. She has not stopped talking about it yet. She feels it's the most awesome thing that she's ever done. How did you feel with her out there?
Oh, I felt safe. It's obvious I've watched the show for years, and she controls herself well. She's ready.
Thank you, John. He's the only one who's ever said a nice thing about me on the show.
You got him fooled, I'll tell you. The thing I want the audience to really understand is that when I came back from Alison driving the street stock car, and she was so wired and so excited, and I went to get her to drive your car then she was afraid. Will you concede that?
When you walked in and you said, John Brolick has offered you to drive his car, I was shaking.
Wait a minute.
She had a look on her face.
She was definitely scared.
Yeah.
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 Wait a minute.
I was going to try to talk. Oh, maybe we should do this another time, Bill.
Because you were still all excited. From
Well,
the other
I was so pumped up from the other one, and I knew these guys were just so much more powerful. I was nervous. You can ask John when we got over to the car and they got me into the car. I was shaking so bad I couldn't hook my helmet. He had buckled me in. He was saying, "Alison, just calm down, or you're not going to have fun." I mean, I was.
Did you tell her that?
Sure. But we weren't really so concerned with buckling her in so much as making sure she was tight in the seat.
So that she wouldn't move around and then you can't drive the car.
Correct.
Yeah, you really have to fit in these cars like a glove. Now, I'll tell you what, let's take and roll that thing, and let's talk about it a little bit as we do it. If you would, John, just step over there so you can see it, because I want you guys to comment on this as we talk about this. This was really quite an experience. Alison, what we've got is you start right off the bat here, I believe. Okay, we've got you. You've just come out of the pits. What are you thinking? Now, what's the difference in feeling?
Actually, when I first started, I was kind of afraid because he did tell me that, with the clutch, it's kind of hard to get it going. And he did start it up right away, got it going. Once I actually drove out, I had automatically calmed down now. Now I knew I had to kind of get into it, or I was going to hit a wall.
Well,
now I was much more calm, and now getting the feel of it and the power behind it, and I just can't explain it. It's awesome.
Well, now we should also say that the other car, the street stock car, was an automatic transmission, and this car is one of these real trick 4-speed, stiff clutch, manual transmission cars.
Oh yeah, and then when I did shoot it up into the 5th gear, and I felt that push behind me going, and I said, well, we're going to go back down to 4. So I only stayed in the 5th gear.
I have a feeling if you got it in 5th gear, you were really excited, right?
Did you see how well she was just doing? I mean, look.
Once again, I also want to point out, if you look real close, we've got a smiling face in there, Alison.
I don't think the smile has left my face since I've been in that car.
Okay, tell us what you thought was different. Obviously, you've got a stick shift car here, and it's a 4-speed, right? Not a 5-speed?
It's a 4-speed, correct.
Right, so you went from 4th and then right back to 3rd, and so you stayed in 3rd. But what impressed me is you actually did get on it a little bit, enough to really feel the car. What are your impressions now of this compared to the street stock car?
Well, I think it's got a much tighter feel. It really feels like I felt more secure in this car.
Yeah, it's more like a complete thoroughbred.
Car, right? And the power behind it, and you're so tight in the seat, so you're not afraid to put the gas, give it some, because it pulls you. But it's a real tight drive, and I was having a little bit of trouble around the corners looking up because of the
roll cage.
So I was looking out the window on the turns. But
John, tell her that the way you do that is to run it hard enough where the back end steps out, and you're looking right. Have I got it right?
Yeah, you basically, around this place especially, you're more looking to the inside than you are straight ahead, because you're always turning, so you're always kind of looking towards the corner, and you're always looking for trouble ahead too. So the trouble's usually in the corners, and you're kind of looking towards the side. You're very rarely, you could probably tape up half the windshield on the right side because you never even use it.
Alison, you definitely enjoyed it though.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Okay, solve my problem now. Explain it to the audience. We've got a general public audience. Tell them how good these guys are out there, and just what a handful they're dealing with.
Well, I'm telling you, just looking at the different speed between myself and what they're doing out there with a group of cars, it would scare me to death to be out there with even one other car. So they really are they're unbelievable drivers in order just to handle it with all those other cars, because they are quick.
The cars they're literally dynamite. They're literally
and the thing is, it's a shame that more people don't get an opportunity to do this, to try these, because you really see the appreciation.
The only wait, let me stop the tape now. We're going to see what we can do, Joe, because I can see that you're anxious. We got a girl here that's really anxious now. First of all, we really want to thank you, John. This is the only way we can communicate to the general public just what you guys are up against out there, because as you know, the general public is never going to be able to experience anything like this.
Well, I have to agree, and more so than anything, in the last 3 years I've been coming here competing pretty hard. I've brought several younger guys, Donnie Crittenbrink, who's won a championship this year. He was second last year. Phil Splant, if you're involved with the racetrack at all, he's won like 5 Enduros in the last 2 years. He never raced before. I brought him here, let him drive one of my cars in the spectator division car, and he got hooked up right away, and he loved it. Now he's the Enduro king. Tim Nix has won 2 Enduros in the last few months. I got him, so he never raced before.
So you're something of an ambassador for racing,
well,
then?
I wouldn't say that, but I like giving people opportunity. I've been kind of short on opportunity all my life. I've worked hard for it. My brother-in-law Dave Weltmeyer has really opened the door to me. And
yeah, let me say that this happens to be an ex-Dave Weltmeyer car, right?
Yes, it was.
And I think our audience, I don't think there's anybody left in the world that doesn't know who the great Dave Weltmeyer is.
Correct. He's great. As a matter of fact, his motor's in there right now. I broke mine a couple weeks ago, and the guy just turned around and, "If you don't take my motor, I'll never talk to you again," he told me.
No, I'm telling you, the people in racing are pretty special people. I know we're about to run out of tape here, so I don't want to let it go. I want to ask you first, how have you done for the season down here? And I know, and once again, our audience will remember, you don't necessarily fancy yourself a driver. You do this to help Dave work on his car. But I'm telling you, folks, this guy's a driver. And as a matter of fact, he went to Grundy County Speedway, a real fast track, won the feature. Am I right?
Yeah, my first time ever racing there.
Okay, nice track too, isn't it?
It's pretty comfortable. It's a nice track too.
Okay, how are we doing this year here in points?
We're fighting for second place right now. I'm 5 points in second ahead of Mike Lors, and tonight's going to be the last night, and it should be a good battle between us, because Mike, you can't ask for a cleaner racer. The guy's just incredible, so it should be fun. It should be exciting.
Okay, well, we thank you for spending a little bit of time with us, and thank you so much for letting the girls experience your card. And Alison?
This is for you. You've helped make my dreams come true, so a little thank you card.
A note for thanks from Alison. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we certainly thank you, John. Let's see. Kimmy, I don't think you've done this yet, have you?
No. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
John Brolick and Mike Carpenter will never know how much of a personal thrill it was to drive their cars. I wish I had a way to explain to you just how fast, quick, and violent these cars are. Take my word, but race car drivers are to be admired for their skill and courage. Now, even though auto racing is all about cars, drivers, and builders, it takes lots of folks to put together a motorsport event. Let's meet some of them.
Alison, if you'll remember, last time we were here, we were introducing the track officials. We wanted the audience to know who the folks are that put the Raceway program on. But you know what I forgot?
The popcorn and food and souvenirs and all the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff, and it takes a bunch of people to put a racing operation on. And,
Sure.
and can you imagine if Bill Wildt walked past a couple of pretty girls like this?
Oh, well, that is
What a shock. That is a shock. First of all, you are.
Karen Smith,
Karen, where are you from?
Oak Forest,
And what do you do here?
bartender.
That's right. There is, in fact, it's kind of a famous bar. What's it called?
The West Bar.
The West Bar. No, it is kind of famous. I guess we could call it Barry's Hangout.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. You enjoy it?
Oh yeah,
And how long have you been doing it?
about 2-3 years,
Really, that long?
on and off.
Okay.
This is the first year of full time.
Well, if I had known you were down there, I'd probably been down there myself already. And you are?
Cheryl
Cheryl what?
Barter,
And where are you from, Cheryl?
Mount Greenwood.
Where?
Mount Greenwood.
Is that in United States?
It's in Chicago.
And what do you do here?
Bartender.
You're also a bar. Boy, if I'd known they had pretty girls like this down here, the same bar, because are there two bars here or
No,
one?
I'm in the East Bar.
So there's an East bar and a West bar here?
Yes.
Okay, because you guys don't get along at all, right?
No, we hate each other.
Okay, yes.
Where do the cuter guys hang out, the East or the West?
Which is the East or West bar for the cuter guys?
Both.
Both.
Can I stay for a while after?
There's no such thing as a cute guy, and who cares if there was?
Wow, certainly you got it wrong here.
Okay, now wait a minute. As important as these girls are, and they certainly are, they're not the only extra players or other players that we ran into down here. Keith, if we can, as a matter of fact, Chuck, if you can pan your camera around over here, these folks want to tell us who they are. You are?
I'm Sue Tulaski,
And where are you from, Sue?
Kell Park.
And you are?
Debbie Pilsudski.
And there's no sense asking what you guys do because you're here, and I guess, doing the souvenirs.
Yes.
Okay, how long have you been doing it?
This is my 3rd season.
Wow, long time in yourself?
2nd year.
Second, you enjoying it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, great. What? I assume they have pictures of the drivers and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whose is the most often requested?
Pat Eklund.
Pat Eklund. We're going to talk to him tonight, I hope. Pat Eklund, he's the track champion, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, thanks for spending some time with us. This gentleman here, and if I could, Keith, you know, if it's just you and me on camera, nobody's going to watch. So let's get over here and get over here with the girls so somebody will watch this piece. First of all, you are?
Keith Schweitzer. I'm
Keith-
the announcer here.
Right, you're the announcer, and I should say we have had Wayne Adams Sr. on our program several times. So you apparently are, how would we say, his protege?
No,
Or
I
was he gone before you?
He was gone before I got here, yes. I came in because the young man that was doing it wasn't too happy about it. He wasn't too crazy about doing the job, and I had some experience at another track.
And boy, what a voice. I envy him. Have you done a lot of announcing?
I had 16 years at the Speedway in Indiana, yes, announcing.
Ileana?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, the great Ileana, the last half mile left in the Chicagoland area.
That's right, yeah.
And what do you think? This has got to be a totally different call here because as we've explained to our audience before, Raceway Park is, first of all, it's the oldest pure motorsport facility in the Chicagoland area, having opened its doors in 1938. Beyond that, it's also the smallest. This is a tough track to drive. You never rest, and he just came from the biggest track in the area, which is Ileana. It's got to be a totally different call.
I've had my hands full, believe me, and I've also had some terrific help from the people upstairs.
They must give you a lot of help here because the action is so fast here, trying to figure out first and second, they're changing fifth and sixth and eighth on you all at the same time.
All the time, and like I say, we call them the upstairs gang, and they have been very, very instrumental in helping me the few months that I've been here.
Okay, well listen, I thank you for spending a little time with us. I know you got to get back upstairs. Please don't run away. I want to get these two young women out here. If we could, please come up here. Do you know what I want you to do?
What?
Are you familiar with the program?
A little.
Okay, I want you guys to get your heads close together. At the same time when I cue you, say, don't go away, folks, we'll be right back. Now.
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Leave it to Bill to spot a couple of pretty girls and want to put them on camera. He's incorrigible. Now, do you remember that the girls at the concession stand said the most often requested picture was Pat Eklund's? Well, we caught up with him between turns 1 and 2 right after qualifying.
Joe DeMarco, do you know who we have here?
We have Pat Eklund.
And who's Pat Eklund?
He's the champion race car driver.
Well, not just a champion race car driver. Allison, tell her how you know Pat Eklund.
Oh, I've met him here before. Last time.
is what he did last time when we were
Oh,
here.
yeah, last time he had got into a real bad accident the night before, did not know if his car was going to be ready to race, pulled it in right before he had to, and won the race. It was amazing.
Not just that, set a track record in
Oh, yeah,
qualifying.
track record,
pulled off the
too.
trailer, set a track record. Christine, you remember all that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I understand, Kimmy, that they've run 30 races this year, and he has won 23 features.
Very impressive.
Very, very impressive. And this time, we've got his car out here. Let's go down and meet him. First of all, Pat Eklund, our audience has met you once before, but welcome once again to Motorsports Unlimited.
Thank you. It's nice that you came out to see us again.
Yeah, and I wanted to see you with your car here because the last time we did the interview with you, you didn't have a car.
Yeah, unfortunately we had crashed the night before and the fellas still had it at the garage trying to fix it.
And apparently worked out really well.
Yeah, we ended up winning that night.
Okay, what am I standing in front of here? This is the kind of thing guys would kill for.
This is the season championship trophy.
Okay, in other words, even though tonight when we're here taping, this is the season championship for the late models, as far as the season points total, you've got it sewed up.
Right, an overall championship points-wise.
Okay, anybody you want to thank?
Oh, obviously the crew and Ray Wableski, the car owner. Ray asked me a couple of years ago to drive, and I was flattered and, of course, accepted the offer, and now we've won 2 championships in a row.
Well, I would say that's really saying something. Any big ambitions, anything from here?
Oh, obviously, everybody that drives a race car would like to, hit the ARCA circuit or ASA or even NASCAR circuit. But, it's you get out of these cars what you put into them. And I myself run a small business, and I'm pretty busy Monday through Friday.
Well, this is certainly the guy that does have the talent, though. There's absolutely no question about that. Literally all the pit areas buzz about Pat Eklund and what he's accomplished and all that thing. And I don't want to pull anything out of you that you don't want to tell, but what we like to do on our program is to try to help everybody understand what you guys do out here. Are you willing to share a little bit of setup?
Well, Ray and the fellas have always prepared a car well. You have to finish to win.
That's for sure, but what I want to know is, can you give us an idea of at Raceway Park, for a guy that's going to aspire to Raceway Park, and I'm sure we've got some hobby stock guys out there right now that are watching this thing that would like to know really how a guy like Pat Eklund does it. How much stagger?
Oh, well, the stagger-wise, we run around 3 inches in the rear and around 1 inch in the front.
Okay, do you run left front heavy or right front heavy?
No, the left side is always heavier.
Okay, a couple 100 pounds?
Yes.
You know, I find it very interesting. I'm sure you know Dave Weltmeyer. Anybody that raced at Raceway Park sure knows the great Dave Weltmeyer, correct?
Oh, I've learned a lot from Dave. We've taught each other a lot of times. We've raced against each other on this very same racetrack.
Right, and we've gone back and forth on this thing. And to me, every race car has got to be set up left front heavy, and yet Dave says that they're setting up either neutral or right front heavy when they're running these bigger tracks. I don't get it. Do you?
Well, it may have something to do with this place. It's almost a constant circle here. You're constantly in a turn, and that's why I think we keep a little bit more left side here.
Yeah, it always makes more sense to me. Quite frankly, one of these days we're going to have to do a whole tech show on this business of these guys. And by the way, Bill Venturini also, right front heavy.
Well, as I say, they run a lot bigger tracks than we do, and I really believe it's just because we don't have much of a straightaway here. We're constantly in a circle.
Okay, so a young guy coming out here that's maybe working on building himself a late model for the first time. The great Pat Eklund is saying you ought to come out with about 3 inches of rear stagger, 1 inch of front stagger, about 200 pounds left front heavy, and you might have it fairly close.
The left
start
rear,
with.
yeah, the left rear is obviously has to be heavier too. I would say the left rear is probably the heaviest part of the car.
Oh, really? You run it that heavy?
Yeah.
Are you allowed that much to get that much left side weight?
Yeah, the rules believe are 58% left side weight total. 58% of the total weight of the car can be on the left side.
See what's going on down there? Okay.
Question.
Yeah, question. Christine, go ahead.
Pat, I'd like to know, how long have you been racing at Raceway Park?
Good question, Chris.
This is my 21st season.
Wow, you seem like a young guy. I'm shocked. That's amazing. Have you won track champions before?
Yeah, 84, 91, and now this year.
So this is your third track championship.
Yeah.
Well, listen, congratulations. Yes, another one, Chris.
Was this all in a late model?
Good question.
All 3 championships were in late model, yes.
Okay, did you always run late models, or did you start with
No, I started along with David Waldmeyer and a few other guys that are running elsewhere in the 6-cylinder division here.
Okay, real quick now, because we're running out of time and I want to get some shots of you guys in action. If you were advising a youngster getting started, there is an argument, I don't want to say an argument, but there is some discussion whether a person should go right to a late model, even though you're not going to beat anybody for the first few years, you'll just be flopping around in what you're going to end up in. Or do you think it's a better idea to start maybe with a hobby stock, go to a street stock, then go, you know what I'm saying? What do you think?
I really believe you should probably start in a lower class than the late models. Whether it's a street stock or a sportsman car, doesn't really matter, but it gives you a little bit more experience of consistency consistency in running the same lap every lap, and it's a little bit easier to, I think it's a little bit easier to concentrate on what you're doing with one of those cars than it would be with one of these.
I certainly agree with you. I think it's a good idea to work your way up because when you're hanging on for dear life, you're not really learning anything.
Well, that's I say. If you're running at the rear of the pack with one of these cars, you're not really learning anything from anybody else. If you run in the middle of the pack or towards the front, even with one of the lesser cars, then you can learn from the other fellas too.
Okay, well listen, I don't want to hold you any longer because I know you got business to do tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the great Pat Eklund. He is the 1992 Raceway Park track champion. We want to congratulate you. I hope you have a good night tonight, even though you don't need it.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're looking for one.
We're looking for one anyway. Girls, everybody together.
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
If you'll remember earlier in the show, John Brolick mentioned helping Don Crittenbrink get started in the street stock division. Let's see how well he's done.
Joe DeMarco, you're real new on our program and you're new to racing. I want you to come down here. I want to show you something. Now, I want you to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do you know what that is?
It's 15 stickers. He's won 15 races.
Not just 15 races. What kind of races? Take a look. This is real important. In motor racing, this is big stuff.
Okay, who's your
No,
races?
feature winner. That means he won 15 feature events, 15 major events. This is a big-time guy.
Keep taking advantage of the fact that I know nothing about
Well, that's why I brought you down here.
And I'm missing one too.
What, and you're missing one too?
Yeah, from last weekend.
Okay, first of all, reintroduce yourself to our audience, please.
Don Crittenbrink.
And Don, once again, you get to us, and we're getting low on program time here. We did this to you last time, but you've had an incredible season.
Yeah.
And you're the champion?
Yes.
The street stock champion?
Yes.
Okay, well, and it doesn't make any difference what happens tonight or tomorrow night?
No.
Okay, well, listen, congratulations. And we've got a guy here that's got something for you. If we can bring him in right now. Right on over here, please. I like to embarrass everybody if given a chance. Step right in on over here. Good. Just like that. First of all, you are?
Roger Smith.
Roger, you're the starter here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is the starter, and what have we got for Don?
We have the 1992 season championship for Don Crittenbrink from Nivis Rizaford.
Okay, well, listen, congratulations. Again, this was another one of these terrific guys to work with. And yes, Allison?
He's buying John Brolick's car next year.
Really? You're going to go late model?
I'm going late models.
Oh, well, congratulations. Congratulations. And you're ready, though. You figure you're ready now?
I don't know.
How many feature wins?
16 with this car, and I did win a 200 lap feature, so that's like 17.
Yeah, you're more than ready. You're definitely ready. Congratulations. We've got to run because the program, we're running out of time. Girls, tell the camera.
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Perhaps next year we'll have the opportunity to talk with Don Crittenbrink and follow up on how he's doing in the late model division. Speaking of late models, it's time for the late model feature. And even though the season point championship has been decided, second place is still up for grabs between John Brolick in car number 2 and Mike Lors in car number 76.
Typical of the close action found on Raceway Park's 1/5 mile oval, watch as John Brolick in car number 2, fighting for points, begins to assert himself.
Keep in mind that Mike Lors in car number 76 is battling for second place in the season point standing.
Literally, everywhere you looked, there were close quarter battles going on.
After a restart following a spin by car number 17, 1992 track champion Pat Eklund takes the lead and takes command in car number 0.
That was Mike Lors in car number 76 spinning into the infield, all but ruining his chance to beat John Brolick for second place in the season point chase. That is, if John doesn't make a mistake, and anything could happen on this tight, challenging track.
Meanwhile, Mike Lors in number 76 wasn't giving up and is making a charge back to the front.
Of course, John Brolick in car number 2 knows that Mike Lors isn't quitting and is going as fast as he can while trying to stay out of trouble.
Now that was a close one, nearly ending John Brolick's night. Anything can happen in racing, and it's not over till it's over. One thing was obvious, though. This was once again going to be Pat Eklund's night, even though Mike Pockris in car number 50 pushed him all the way.
When starter Roger Smith threw the checkered flag, it was Pat Eklund winning, followed by number 50, Mike Pockrass, and John Brolick in car number 2, securing his second place in the season point championship. Congratulations, Pat, and to all the Raceway Park competitors. You folks make our visit a pleasure, especially mine. Thanks, guys.
Wow, they've been doing it since 1938 and it just keeps getting better and better. The late models are spectacularly fast and have run us flat out of time with only a few minutes left to acknowledge the fine work of our award-winning production team, including Chuck Itzenthaler, John Papke, Tom McGrady, and Mike Sabatino. Special thanks to JVTV's Jerry Bryant. Music for this edition of Motorsports Unlimited was created by those talented folks at Fireside Recording Studio in Westchester, Illinois, and by independent artists Roger Pauly and Jerry Herbert. We all know Motorsports Unlimited is the hottest show on television, but would that be true if it weren't for our stars, Joe DeMarco, Alison DeMoore, Kim Donahue, Chris Schutz, and our host, Bill Wildt. The question was rhetorical. We all know the answer, including me. I'm Carl King, encouraging you all to take advantage of the fine motorsport facilities serving the Chicagoland area. We'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching.
This program made possible in part by support from Dependable Carburetor, located on 35th Street, just west of Ashland Avenue in Chicago.
Motorsports Unlimited is produced by Bill Wildt, president of the Motorsport Advancement Crusade.
This program was made possible in part by support from CW Auto and Truck Repair, located at Ruby and Leland in Schiller Park, Illinois.
This program made possible in part by support from ABC Auto Parts, located on Ashland Avenue and 138th Street in Blue Island.
This program made possible in part by support from Tony Izzo's New LaSalle Speedway, located on Route 6 near I-80 and Route 178 in LaSalle, Illinois.
This program made possible in part by support from Westbrook Auto Service, located on Franklin Avenue and Dora Street in Franklin Park.
The Motorsport Advancement Crusade is a non-profit organization dedicated to the preservation and enhancement of motorsport. We are entirely funded by voluntary contributions. For more information, write Motorsport. Oh, you could write the whole thing, Motorsport Advancement Crusade if you like, but mail gets to us just fine, addressed Motorsport, P.O. Box 66242, Chicago, Illinois, 60666. Or just call area code 312-478-4224. We enjoy hearing from our audience and encourage you to call or write.
So that's it, another edition of Motorsports Unlimited and the lovely ladies of motorsports. And be with us next week because we'll have something real exciting. Bill Wildt's going to have the lovely ladies, and just about anything can happen right here on Motorsports Unlimited. Every week at this time, we bring you the best in motorsports. So be seeing ya. Bye-bye. And keep on rocking.